Hey everybody, welcome. Today we're talking about the sneaky little thought that some of us have on a regular basis, which is, I just don't want to. I don't want to do it. This is an optional thought. It does not feel optional, but it is incredibly optional, and it is ruining your ability to get what you want. Okay, I'm going to talk about that today. So here's the situation. A lot of times we set a goal. There's an outcome that we're looking forward to, that we want in our lives. This could be weight loss. This could be focusing, finishing a term paper ahead of time for once. This could be having a clean and organized and clutter-free home. It could be meal planning. You name it, okay? The goal, the outcome we really want, like we can feel it in our bones, how much we want it. But what we don't want are the little steps that are required to actually achieve that goal. So what we'll do is we'll set a goal and then we'll say, okay, let's say I'm going to lose weight. Well, today I have to get up and do exercise. I don't want to. I don't want to not eat the cheesecake. I don't want to do the stretching, whatever it is, right? I don't want it. Okay, this thought makes us feel, the thought is causing the feeling, right? The thought makes us feel something negative. And each of us may have a different exact emotion that we're experiencing, but it's going to be negative. I don't want to, for me, produces resistance, rebelliousness. One of my clients said that thinking I don't want to makes him feel tortured, right? Like I have to and I don't want to. So he feels like a lot of us feel trapped, stuck, beaten down. Just in general, awful. It just makes you feel bad, okay? What your brain does when you feel a negative emotion is it tries to get you out of it. And it tries to get you out of it by overdoing thoughts about what else you could be doing. Produces all of these ideas about distractions. Let's eat food. Let's get on Facebook. Let's go to another room. Let's anything to get you out of this, because it thinks that you are in pain, and this pain is a problem because it may be jeopardizing your survival. Okay? So this is why if you've ever been in a situation where you had a task to do but you really didn't want to, it was incredibly hard to focus on that task. It's because of that emotion and because of what your brain is trying to do, which is help you. Anybody who's prone to beating yourself up for self-sabotage, your brain's trying to help, okay? And that's what it does when you have a negative emotion like this. So what ends up happening, we think I don't want to, we feel awful, our brain tries to help us, and then we quit the process that would have gotten us what we wanted so badly, right? The end result that we focused on briefly when we wrote it down in our goal workbook or whatever we're using, or planner. So we quit, we don't get the results we want. We end up in a cycle, okay, where we're setting a lot of goals and not reaching any of them. So the solutions, there are a couple really easy ones that jump to mind. And I say easy, let's call them simple. Simple ones. One is to decide that you actually do want every single step of the process. Some of you are going to say, well, I can't just decide what I want and I don't want. And I'm going to challenge you on that and say that it's not actually true. You are very convinced and you have a habit of not wanting certain things, so it feels uncomfortable to try to change that. But you actually have that ability to change what you want, to decide you want something else. There are multiple great reasons for deciding you want the repetitive, monotonous steps of a process. And one of them is that if you're wanting it, the suffering goes away. Like, if I want to get up and exercise today, there is not the awful feelings actually go away. You may not be able to produce a feeling of joy for a repetitive action or something that's going to make you tired, but you can get rid of the tortured, rebellious awfulness that's going on. So you can actually live a life that's devoid of all the suffering that we are creating for ourselves. Another reason is that you get to achieve the end goal of this particular goal. Like, that's why I want the process, because it really does matter to me to get the goal. For a lot of us, that's not enough, but if you start to, this is why vision boards are so powerful, right? We keep re-entering into our brain, it's going to be so amazing. I want it, I want it, I want it. So you want it even as you're doing this small step today. And the final reason is if you get really good at wanting the process, any process that you present yourself with in the future is easier to accomplish. It's easier to go through with those daily actions. It's easier to achieve all of your goals. So you can start to think, you know, this process is not something that is intrinsically energizing to me, but I really do want it because of everything that's going to mean for my future. If that's really difficult for you, first off, it's something that you can work on with a coach, but you could also shift into something when you have the thought, I don't want to, just shift into something that makes you feel more neutral. Okay, so think of the number of thoughts that you could think when it's time to do a repetitive or monotonous task or a part of a process task that's not quite at the goal you want yet. One of my favorites is to shift from I don't want to just to it's time to, right? Just let I don't want to, imagine kind of letting it slough off of your brain. If you've ever seen if you've ever seen water on a duck's back, you know, they describe like let it roll off of you. It really does. The water just kind of beads up and rolls off of their back. Let your thought do that. Let the I don't want to do that. And then replace it or refocus on a thought like it's time to do this now. It can help you to schedule these repetitive process-oriented tasks on a certain time slot in your schedule so that you really can say, no, this is the time when I do this every day. Okay? Let me know if you have questions about this. If you give this a shot and you're still struggling, it may be something that, because it's a practice, you need a little extra accountability. Maybe you need somebody to talk you through what's going on in your mind. This is what coaching is about. Shoot me a message. I'll help you if I can, just briefly. And if you're interested in coaching, we can definitely talk about what that would look like for you. So I hope this helps. Comment if you have something to say. And if not, I hope you have a great day. I'll see you soon. Bye.